Ready? Have you ever been embarrassed about something so deeply that you try to hide it from everyone at all costs? Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, for me, that was my time in the military. And it wasn't because of anything I did particularly in the military, or I'm not ashamed to have served in the military. It was just that after experiencing all the types of leadership and seeing all the styles of leadership in the military, I was just a little reluctant to admit that I was part of that culture at all. And the thing is, every time I think about my past or try to discover what I want for the future, that time in the military inevitably comes up in the discussion. Now, the object I've chosen today is this medal. It's something that I received for my time in service, particularly for the time that I was spent overseas in Ukraine. Now, as a standalone piece, it doesn't really mean much. It has a couple symbols on it, our unit crest. But as a reflection piece, it represents the time that I spent in the military and all the things that I've gained in the military. And what I found was that as I reflect on myself, the person who I was in the past, I find that person was someone who was very unmotivated and had very little ambition. I didn't really have a clear, direct path that I wanted to take. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Right after high school, I went to college, not because it was something I wanted to do, but it was just because it was something that was expected of me, you know, being from Asian family. They tell you go to college, right? Well, the problem was, after 2 years of pursuing a business degree, I looked to my left and I looked to my right, and I saw all my friends were starting their own lives, gaining independence, going to work, and a big part of me wanted that independence too. So after 2 years, I dropped out, to my parents' great dismay, and I started working. My first job, I started as a door-to-door salesman, selling windows and siding, and it was a humbling experience. What I gained from that experience was that I gained the ability to handle rejection and failure, because there was a lot of that. And what I found was I learned that you had to get through the 99 no's, all the door slams and all the no, I'm not interested, no thank you, in order to find that one person that would say yes, right? And so after a while, I went on and to different other jobs, and one day I found myself in that rut again. It's like, what do I want to do now? I can't stay in this job forever. So I talked to one of my clients, and she suggested, hey, Andy, you should join the military. I told her, how come? And she said, well, if you want to find something fulfilling to do and to be able to get out there, you know, beyond just living in Hawaii, you gotta find a job that will allow you to travel. So the military, my husband's in the military and does both those things. I said, why not? And even if that doesn't pan out, you know, I can go back to school afterwards using military education benefits. So I did. And I inevitably found myself learning a lot of things in the military. I picked up discipline, mental fortitude, that allows me to concentrate on my education now and as well as work at the same time. And I have to clarify, I don't dislike the military, and I don't you know, hold any bars against any of my brothers and sisters who are still serving. It was just, I really disliked the culture in the military where all the superiors had to always drive for results and numbers rather than look after the well-being of their soldiers, you know. And I knew if I stayed in the military, I'd inevitably have to step into that role. So I decided to leave, and I'm still grateful, for the time that I've served in the military as a medic in the military. It was fulfilling for me to be able to make a difference in people's lives and help people and help others. And that's what I decided I want to do now in the future. It gave me a clear direction. I want to stay in medicine, and I want to continue that work in the future. But, just like the taste of medicine, sometimes the best or the worst things for you ends up becoming the best thing for you. And that's what the Army did for me.